Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria Evans. I'm a science-based intuitive eating specialist helping you stop food fear, food guilt, and self-sabotage so you can eat effortlessly and feel amazing. So today we're going to be talking about 5 steps to practicing radical self-love in any situation. But before we do, I'd love to ask you to please like and subscribe my video. It really does mean the world to me having that support, as well as comment below what types of videos you'd like to see next so I can go ahead and make them for you. So, radical self-love. How I used to perceive the world was a reflection of my own reflection in the mirror that day. All of the answers of who I would be and how I would show up could be found by staring into the judge and the juror that hung above my bathroom sink. Now, this was not new. This is how I'd always lived my life, and it's how many of us live our lives. Until one day I decided that I was done. I was no longer available for anything other than self-acceptance. Self-acceptance, which I viewed as a stepping stone on my journey to radical self-love. My motto was not apologizing for it, not apologizing for my existence as a woman in this society, in this body. Now, there's a common misconception, and that is if we accept our body as it is, that'll prevent us from moving forward and becoming the best versions of ourselves. But rather, it's actually through self-acceptance that we can become who we are meant to be. You see, when we live in this scarcity mindset, this mindset and thinking that we are not enough as we are, it basically depletes us and burns us out. When we feel the emotional pain, the shame of believing we are not enough and we are broken and in need of fixing, the same areas of our brain are going to get activated as if we're in physical pain, actual physical pain. This basically shuts off our thinking brain, our prefrontal cortex, and basically forces us to operate from fear. So when we're doing this, we become exhausted and stagnant and stuck. So many of us have tried to shame ourselves to a better version of ourselves and have failed. So accepting ourselves is essential. But here is the thing. We should want more than just to accept ourselves and accept our reality. We should love it. We should feel alive and not just merely exist and survive. But self-acceptance is the foundation for radical self-love. That is the first thing. Accepting ourselves as we are is essential. But here's the thing. We should want more than to merely accept our reality. We should love it. We should feel alive, not merely exist. Self-acceptance is the foundation for radical self-love. And what is radical self-love? Radical self-love is rejecting an oppressive culture that has deemed us unworthy and in need of fixing. A culture that has ranked our value to the world based on the color of our skin, our gender, and our body type. And when we reject this, it basically gives us back our power. When we stop buying into the belief that we are not enough, we become rich in our ability to show up for ourselves as opposed to societal expectations. The door opens to a life where we can start to explore our true purpose and meaning. And this is radical, right? Because it actually requires us to reject this idea that some of us are more important than others, that the person in the smaller body, the person with a certain job, that they're not better than you. An idea that we're all currently prescribed to and one that is upheld by our buying into it. So we need to stop the comparison and the ranking and the thinking other people's lives are better than ours based off of their external reality. Eradicating the idea of a sliding scale of worth dependent on what we look like and our skin and how much money we have and all of that. We need to let that go. So what do? Right? We need to use radical self-love. So here are 5 steps to practice radical self-love in any situation. The first is to get present. In order to step into radical self-love, we have to first understand where we currently are. If you think about Google Maps, right, we have to know our current location if we want to get instructions to our final destination. So getting present and identifying our thoughts. So for example, if the thought is, I need to lose weight or be a certain size to be happy, right? That's the first step to identify it. The second is to investigate. Where is this thought coming from? We have approximately 6,000 thoughts per day, and all of them can feel like our own. But we often forget to challenge them and ask ourselves, where did we pick these up? Where did we learn these? Is this thought really mine? Or was this taught to me without my full understanding or consent? For example, if I've been conditioned to believe that a certain body type is better than others, right, then this belief, I need to know it's not my own. I was not born hating my body and wishing parts of myself away. I was taught that. Taught it by a society that will sell you this idea you are broken and then sell you the solution to it. You were not born thinking you were not enough. You were taught that idea and then sold the product or the service or the capitalist society, the patriarchal system that is keeping women distracted and keeping women small. There is a strategic thing happening here, and we have to start to observe our thoughts and be aware of them and seeing, is this true? Is this mine, or is this someone else's? Step 3 is to adjust. So if our thought is not in fact serving us and is rather upholding a societal construct that we are not enough as we are, then we need to take a moment to adjust. We need to move forward with self-compassion as we begin to assemble a better path. One where we ask ourselves questions like, what do I need right now? Versus the who should I be right now? Asking ourselves, is this what I truly want? Versus, is this what I think I should want? Radical self-love takes a shift in perspective and choosing to show up each day with curiosity, appreciation, and a commitment to your whole self. For example, thinking to yourself, I don't need to lose weight. I need to reject the societal demands on my body and instead do something to nourish my soul and fill me with the energy I might be missing, I might be lacking. The 4th step is to set boundaries. Radical self-love is all about engaging in practices that nurture your overall well-being, happiness, and personal development. It's deeply rooted in a sense of self-respect, which is closely tied to boundaries that we establish with others. Recently, on a client call, we were talking about how she had a really draining relationship. During our conversation, I shared with her what I think is a powerful insight, and that's you can't help them if it's hurting you. Often as women, we are taught to prioritize the needs of others, become martyrs who sacrifice ourselves. However, a key aspect of radical self-love involves recognizing that your needs are equally important. You need to be putting yourself first, embracing that inherent value and not compromising your well-being for others. While the specifics of self-respect might differ for each of us depending on our situation, understanding this and setting those boundaries is vital for developing a healthy self-relationship and practicing radical self-love. So spending some time reflecting on what are your needs and what are the boundaries that are going to help you in your life. What do those look like for you? Who gives you energy and who takes it away? And the last step, step number 5, is the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. So if you are worried that people are going to judge you for who you are or what you look like or what you're doing, if you're always trying to control what other people think about you, control how they feel about you, all of that, then you need to be using the Let Them Theory. Again, that's by Mel Robbins. When you let them do whatever it is that they want to do, it creates more control and emotional peace for you and a better relationship with the people in your life. So when you start to notice that desire to stress and control others, tell yourself, let them. Take a deep breath and focus that energy back onto you and your needs. Stop looking outwards, start turning inwards. Building on that as well, knowing that all beings suffer. Just because someone has a certain body type or looks a certain way or is different to you in certain ways doesn't make them better. All beings suffer. We often struggle to love ourselves because we think if we were different, we look like someone else, we achieve something, right? That all of our life would be better, would be happier. We get caught in this compare and despair. But again, all beings suffer. So how will you start practicing radical self-love in your life? Remember that we are all worthy of loving ourselves, and we are all in this together. My last bit of advice for you is I invite you to book a call. If you know my work, if you know how I approach things, I take a very science-based approach to all of my work. I give you lots of powerful tools, techniques, and strategies. I use my EAT approach, education, accountability, and tools to help you create a life you love, one where your eating habits are easy and effortless, one where movement and exercise is something you enjoy and a celebration at what your body can do, not a punishment for what you ate or what you look like. If you want to start fully showing up in your life, feeling good in your skin, and practicing radical self-love, I invite you to go ahead to the link below and book in a call with me. I would absolutely love to chat with you.